Okay, so when you think of Nashville, Tennessee, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Probably music, right? Honky-tonks, the Grand Ole Opry, the heart of country music. But over the last few years, a whole new rhythm has taken over the city, and it's being played on a very different kind of pitch. So, let me ask you, what's the defining sound of Music City? A guitar riff? Some soulful lyrics? Well, for a whole lot of people now, the answer is something totally different. Because for tens of thousands of fans, the loudest, most passionate sound in Nashville today is the roar of the crowd for their soccer team, Nashville SC. Now, what's so cool about this club is that its story wasn't dreamed up in some corporate boardroom. Nope, it started right there in the stands with the very people who now fill the stadium. This is a true grassroots story, through and through. It all kicked off with a team called Nashville FC. And get this, it was literally owned by the fans. Back in 2013, a bunch of supporters decided they didn't just want to watch soccer, they wanted to build it themselves, And they had huge dreams of climbing all the way to the top. And this timeline just shows you how fast that dream took off. I mean, sure, the city had some pro soccer before, but 2013 was the real spark. That fan-owned club eventually passed its name and colors to a new pro ownership group in 2016. And that was a really smart move, because it gave them the financial firepower they needed to make a serious run at the big leagues. By 2017, they were ready to knock on the door of Major League Soccer. And that leads us right into the high-stakes push for the big time. This wasn't just some pipe dream anymore. This was a real, organized plan to join the top tier of American soccer. And here's what made their bid so powerful. You had this new ownership group, led by businessman John Ingram, teaming up with the existing club. So what they presented to Major League Soccer was the perfect package. A passionate, built-in fan base, plus some serious financial backing. I mean, how could the league say no to that? It was pretty much an irresistible combination. And you guessed it, it worked. On December 20th, 2017, the dream became a reality. Nashville was officially on the MLS map. Just an incredible moment for the city. But look, getting into the league is one thing. Actually making an impact right away, that's a whole different ballgame. And Nashville SC, well, they wasted absolutely no time making their presence felt. Their very first MLS match, back in February 2020, drew almost 60,000 people. Let that sink in. That's not just a big crowd. It was the biggest crowd for a soccer game in Tennessee history. It proved, right from day one, that this city was all in. And that incredible support was rewarded with some amazing consistency on the field. Think about this. As a brand new expansion team, they made the playoffs in each of their first 4 seasons. That's not supposed to happen. It just showed they were built to compete from the jump. A lot of that success was powered by some serious individual brilliance, especially from their star player, Hany Mukhtar. In 2022, he went on an absolute tear, contributing to 34 goals. That's goals and assists. He won the league MVP and the Golden Boot. The man was unstoppable. But maybe their most dramatic moment, the one that really put them on the global stage, came in 2023. They fought their way all the way to the final of the very first Leagues Cup, setting up this legendary showdown at home against, of all people, Lionel Messi. And the final was just an absolute nail-biter, a total thriller that ended up going to a penalty shootout. And this wasn't just any shootout. It was a marathon that went an incredible 11 rounds before Miami finally won. What a game. So that performance showed the world what they were made of. But to really understand Nashville SC, you have to understand the city itself. Everything about them, their name, their colors, their logo, it's all tied directly to Nashville's unique culture. Even their colors tell a story. You've got electric gold, which is all about that bright, vibrant energy of the music scene. And then you have acoustic blue, which represents the deeper, soulful side of the city. It's just perfect, right? And you can see exactly how these colors come to life on the field. The home kit is that brilliant electric gold, totally unmistakable. And the away kit uses that deep acoustic blue, giving it a really cool, soulful contrast. Even the crest is a direct shout out to Nashville. The octagon shape, that mirrors the city itself. The N is, pretty obvious. But my favorite part is the vertical bars. They're designed to look like sound waves. A perfect nod to Music City. So clever. Now, a team this plugged into its city, it deserves a special home. And in 2022, they opened the doors to a brand new fortress, a stadium built just for soccer. And this isn't just any stadium. Geeta's Park is the largest soccer-specific stadium in the entire United States. That's not just a home field, that's a statement. And with a capacity of 30,000, you can just imagine the atmosphere. It creates this incredible wall of gold and blue sound that gives the team a massive home field advantage. So, after a rise to the top that was just meteoric, what comes next? Every great artist has to evolve, and Nashville SC is facing its own moment of transition right now. So that early consistency was so impressive, right? They hit the conference semifinals in their first 2 years. But then you can see the momentum started to slow a bit, with first-round exits the next 2 years. And then in 2024, the club missed the playoffs for the very first time, which signaled it was time for a change, a new chapter for the team. This club was born from pure ambition. It burst onto the scene with a bang, and it built an identity that is as authentic as the city it represents. You could say their first album was a massive success. The question now is, what's the next one going to sound like?